Let me say something uncomfortable right away. If you think you're not alone, you might be lying to yourself because one day, sooner than you expect, you could wake up and realize no one is coming to save you. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because I've seen it happen over and over again. It's a cold day out here in New Jersey. I'm walking my dog through the Pine Barrens. He wanted a walk and I needed some fresh air. And because of that, you're about to hear some cold, hard truths from a man who's lived long enough to see how this really goes. If you think your family will always be there for you, if you believe your spouse has everything handled, if you assume your kids will step in when you get older or when your health starts to fail, think again. You don't need to walk around paranoid. You don't need to be scared of everyone, but you do need to be prepared. Because once you pass 50, things change. Health changes, relationships change, people change. I've seen it. Everyone my age has seen it. We all have stories like this. And here's one truth most people don't like to hear. A lot of people don't pay attention to their finances. In older generations, especially, one spouse handled everything. And when that spouse dies or leaves, the other person is completely lost. They don't know where the money comes from. They don't know the passwords. They don't know which bills exist. They don't even know what questions to ask. I've seen people absolutely blindsided. One of my closest friends was my English professor back in college. We stayed friends for years. She reached her 60s, no kids, married for decades. One morning, her husband sat her down and said, "I don't love you anymore." That was it. Turned out he was having an affair with his office manager, the same woman he always claimed he couldn't stand. They went off happily together, and my friend was left divorced, alone, and broken in her 60s. She never saw it coming. It wrecked her mental health. It changed her entire life. Eventually, she rebuilt herself, but decades with someone gone, just like that. How many stories like this have you heard? I live in a 55 and older community now, and I see this all the time. A spouse dies, and suddenly the survivor doesn't know how to live alone. Sometimes the men can't cook, sometimes the women don't understand the finances, and sometimes it's both. You have to be prepared. You need to know where the money comes from. Every dollar. You need to know how to do your banking, whose name the accounts are in, whose name the life insurance is in. When I was younger, I worked for Prudential Life Insurance. I answered claim calls. I can't tell you how many times I had to say, "I'm sorry, the policy lapsed." And there was nothing anyone could do. Imagine losing your spouse and then finding out the insurance you depended on doesn't exist anymore. That's not bad luck. That's lack of preparation. You need to pay attention to all aspects of your life because you don't know when you might end up alone. People assume kids will be there. I wish that were always true, but I can't tell you how many people I know in their 80s who are completely alone. Those kids aren't visiting. They have their own lives, their own problems, their own messes, divorces, addictions, financial stress. Life has a way of falling apart mid flight. That's why you need to talk now. Have the uncomfortable conversations. When we were young, our parents gave us the talk. Now it's our turn. You need full transparency with your spouse or partner, insurance, bills, debt, bank access, everything. This isn't about distrust, it's about reality. Anything can happen after 50: illness, loss, betrayal. I've seen people in their 80s put into facilities, their finances taken over, while a son or daughter suddenly shows up driving a brand new motorhome, and mom sits in a room forgotten until she dies. That's not rare, that's real. So don't build fantasies about being taken care of. If your kids show up for you, that's a blessing, truly. But don't depend on it. Have your affairs in order. Have a relationship with an attorney. Know your rights. Protect yourself. And one more thing, if you're in a happy relationship and you don't spend much time with single people, pay attention to us because when you do end up alone, we're the ones who know how to survive. We're independent. We're resourceful. We're prepared. We're not wrapped up in spouse drama or family chaos. We're available when things fall apart, so keep single friends in your life. The takeaway is simple. If you're over 50, don't be foolish. Be independent. Know your finances. Know your household. Have a plan B you can survive on your own. because your best life depends on your ability to stand alone. Everything else is a bonus. Life changes. Take care of yourself. Don't get caught off guard. Have a good day.